staring idly.
Hello and welcome back to the UKLC. Get ready to go into our fourth and final game of the day. This is going to be Bulldog versus MNM. I literally just got a DM on Discord saying, Hitbro wants a clown fiesta, we'll give you one. So I am so ready for this one. All right, what are we making of these comps here?
Well, we saw, you know, honestly, a relatively explosive MNM last week. And we'll get to Bulldog because explosive also suits what we saw from them as well. And honestly, you know, taking on Resolve in the first game of the split, they made it hard for Resolve. Resolve had to work for that win. Unfortunately, it seemed like the difference maker between winning and losing that game could have been an auto attack. And I mean, that just kind of goes to show you the kind of game League of Legends can be. And honestly, high hopes for MNM. Of course, I know we both had to have them down for the win here in predictions, but I can still see Bulldog taking it as well. They had a decent opening week, a more than decent opening week, really. Yeah. But honestly, after seeing how MNM's teamfight prowess seems to be, you know, I do fear a little bit for this Bulldog side if MNM can take control of the game. And hey, would you look at that? What champion is Hachi not going to have his hands on?
To be fair to DBO and MNM, yeah, nah, don't let that through. The iPhone's going to get banned away as well. We've had the Talia ban. We've had a fair few Talias show up in the ban phase. Has been incredibly impactful recently. Followed by the Pantheon, slipped through at the beginning of the day. Got fed, didn't do anything. But even so, I don't think that's particularly a fair breakdown of what that champion does. It is very strong at the moment. Yeah, finally, the Seraphine ban will come out. And we have seen a fair few Kai'Sa bans on red side today. So it's going to be the Olaf focused out. And Harry, he has the pick of the litter if he wants to go for that Kai'Sa right now. It feels like that's the pick.
Yeah, that is going to be the pick. Akali is also open, which is something to also note. I don't know whether it's really going to be immediately picked up here, but happy to see Harry back on this Kai'Sa. It seems like his pick of choice at the moment in this meta. Of course, we sort of brought up that, yes, he is very fond of the Caitlyn, but it's not strong enough in the meta right now to actually be played consistently. Yeah. And the response from Bulldog looking to be this Gragas pick, and momentarily hovering the Hecarim is going to get locked in. So already we're seeing a lot of disruption, a lot of potential backline dive. We'll have to see how Bulldog decide to round out that draw.
Well, next up, we'll see what is the pick here. I expect to see a jungler get picked up. Maybe a support. Things like the Maokai are open, Leona are open.
Yeah. There's a lot to take. You could go the Alistar plus X. Oh, they actually want the set. Okay.
Technically flexible as well.
Yeah, still technically flexible. So I'm still actually okay with this. Of course, DBL seems to be quite fond of the champion at the moment. We saw him pick it up last week into Resolve, and honestly, he was a nuisance in some of these great team fights. And honestly, looking to run back a lot of what they were playing, it seems like, versus Resolve. Because I do want to say Kazuro in that game was on the Graves, though I could be mistaken.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, it's been a long day as well.
Harry was on Jhin in that game, which is open. So Casper could take the Jhin if he wants. Yeah. Over in the NLC, we actually did see a lot of Aphelioses get picked up into the Kai'Sa just because it kind of minces it in the 1v1. It's going to be the Maokai lock in here. So a lot of CC picked up for Bulldog. Now we need to see some carries get locked in. So we move into ban phase 2. I expect to see MNM ban away a bunch of ADCs. Don't give Casper probably the Jhin or the Aphelios realistically. Yeah. We'll see what is going to get banned away. The Syndra denied from TyreX for the moment, though.
Yeah, curious to... I was going to say, I'm curious to see how Bulldog feel about this ban phase, because set can technically be played in all of the 3 remaining roles actually still available for these champions to be slid into. So it seems like they're not necessarily sold on TRX playing this set in the mid lane. So for now, going to be seeing that Syndra banned away because we saw the combo earlier. Sometimes you don't really get to interact with League of Legends if you get scattered the weak. Syndra presses her R key, and then hey, Graves is like collateral damage from downtown.
Yeah.
So MNM, I think rightfully so, banning away at least for now the MF. I wouldn't be surprised to see that followed up with either a Samira or an Aphelios, and they just make Bulldog pick the other of what they don't ban out really.
I feel like the Aphelios is probably the top ban here.
Yeah.
I feel like Jhin is more dealable than Aphelios in the role, but they're actually going to go for the the Nivea.
Yeah.
You did see Shicklin play it last week, so bit of a target ban at him, but there's like a bunch of AD carriers that are up. You've got that Jhin, you've got the Aphelios. Curious to see what Casper goes. I think they'll go for a mid lane counter pick, so expect this to be the ADC. I don't expect it to be the Vayne. Kai'Sa kind of poos on Vayne every time, so it's probably not going to be the matchup.
Vayne actually doesn't have a terrible time into Kai'Sa by any means, but maybe in comp, just because of the way that games are usually played out, Kai'Sa ends up having the upper hand.
Yeah.
But we are just going to see Orianna locked in. So Bulldog, honestly, they're just running a very standard teamfight composition for the most part. Relatively magic damage heavy, but they do have the Hecarim and the AD carry role to lock in, so it's not like they're going to be too stressed about that. But for MNM, I want to know what they're going to round out with here.
Ooh.
And all right, we're going to get the Sylas, and honestly, depending on where this goes, which I'm assuming this is for the mid lane, this is for Tyrex into this Orianna, he's got a lot of strong ultimates to steal away right now.
Well, unless that's a set support, like it's going to be mid lane, right?
Yeah, it's most likely going to be mid lane.
So many big ultimates to Nick here. This is really nice. You got the cast,
very
charge,
very high value. Very high value Sylas pickup, and we're also seeing the Volibear. So this is most likely going to be Volibear top into this Gragas pickup. We're going to see the set bot into the Maokai, and they are actually going to lock in the Vayne. Which
Casper's going to try and prove me wrong here.
Casper's going to try and prove you wrong. I'm not actually opposed to this Vayne pickup because there's not a lot of point and click CC here for this MNM draft, and it's a relatively beefy front line too. So, you know, I can definitely see it being difficult to lock down this Vayne. So Caspar throwing down the gauntlet really wants to sort of show off here, and if he can get off to a strong start, look at the front line he's got afforded to him. He's got an Orianna also to even build and buy a lot more space for him. So Casper, he's looking like he's got another draft built around him. MNM, a little more sort of can play towards any of these lanes. They've got decent early game, they've got decent scaling, their team fighting's not terrible, and their skirmishing is alright. So it's a very nice rounded comp for them.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be the exhaust on Harry over the hill. So if they do jump into a fight, the exhaust expect that to go down on Casper, and then Harry probably will be able to pull out ahead in those fights just due to the summoner spell there. But honestly, I'm really liking both of these comps. The Sylas is the one that I'm most excited about because outside of the Vayne, every ultimate is great for him. Shockwave, Hecarim charge, you got the cast, you got the Nature's Grasp. So many big impactful ultimates from this Sylas for him to steal. Running fleet footwork as well in the lane, so not really too worried about getting poked out. Obviously, Fleet has AP scaling on the healing, so it's actually really nice for the lane for him, and will actually be fairly relevant later on in the game. So he's going to have a fair amount of sustain with the Kingslayer and the Fleet footwork. It's going to be hard to kill this Sylas.
Yeah, and I mean, I was kind of thinking, I don't think I'm too worried about Bulldog's damage away from Vayne, as the Hecarim and the Orianna should be enough to sort of have enough damage. But I'm thinking about in return versus some of these MNM picks, because every one of these champions is pretty front-loaded in damage. And you can blow up even some of the tankier members of this Bulldog draft with a couple clicks of a few buttons. So I think this is going to be a pretty back and forth game. I think finally, Jake, you might get the hype game you've been looking for all day, because we've been... I
was promised a Clown Fiesta. That's all I'm saying. I was promised a Clown Fiesta. The teams have loaded onto the Rift and will be getting ready to go into our fourth and final game of day 2 here at the... week 2, day 1 of the UKLC. MNM Academy taking on Bulldog. Bulldog undefeated so far. 2 wins back-to-back. I know it is only the second week, but still incredibly impressive stuff.
Yeah, still only in week 2, but still, Bulldog being on the board is a bit of an achievement in itself.
30 seconds until minions.
We'll have to see if they can continue their winning ways, as MNM's certainly not going to be an easy opponent, you imagine. As honestly, MNM gave Resolve a run for their money. I wonder if Harry even has any idea that Sapling's there. That is a cute rainbow kitten.
I love Maokai.
I
remember, like, because Maokai got the Victoria skin that year. And Maokai came out, like, a month before, and it was like, well, the Victorious skin's garbage in comparison. Who doesn't want Maokai?
Who cares about Victorious Maokai when you can have saplings meow at?
Oh, it turned out.
That's all right. He's going to throw another one, probably.
He's just going to throw it on Harry. I love Baskin so much.
And the star.
It's the little walking sound they make. They
it's
sound like an Animal Crossing character.
Yeah, or it's like a sound effect out of like Super Mario Galaxy or something. If you played that game,
basically a Nintendo sound.
It's a Nintendo sound. The junglers both on the top side. Looks like I'm gonna see some early farm action from Muller and Kazuro. And honestly, a lot of these lanes shouldn't really be too bloody. I could potentially see DBO and Hachi throwing hands in the top side, as Volibear loves to be aggressive in the laning phase. And I mean, honestly, Gragas is not opposed to it either, as early bottom lane prio looks like it's going to be in Bulldog's favor. You can see DBL, the power of the passive means that very often or not, you're able to crash on wave 2. And very early, you can see the cannon minion wave hasn't even really showed up until right about now.
I love this as well. This is the power of the Doran's ring start on the Volibear's wave. So much damage with that Stormbreaker.
Yeah, honestly, Volibear deals Volibear deals a lot of damage. You're going to see here.
Oh, obviously, he has massive mana cost problems as well. So the Doran's ring really helps in that as well. Early Volibear, pretty thirsty as far as the mana bars go.
Yeah, can be very mana heavy, but you can see he's also got the biscuit from his runes, so shouldn't struggle too much as the laning phase progresses. And you can see he's going to have full priority. Muller's not even on this side of the map. Kazura's looking for an early gank. I'm going to expect Regan to flash in.
There's the flash. Casper flashes away as well, but Regan's still chasing. Voidseeker's not going to quite hit, but they do get a fair amount of damage into poke. And remember, this is what we see from Silas's all the time. They have that Hex Flash, so they are perfectly fine.
The set.
But, sorry. Silas was on my screen and my brain farted. They are perfectly fine burning the flash early, so they can just Hex Flash out of bush later. Mola will, in response, get 2 crabs for himself.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. It's always a trade-off. You can always look at League of Legends as sort of a game of chess, if you will, where... All right, Kazura's move. He wants to gank bottom lane. He does that. He blows Casper's flash. What's the cost? Mola gets 2 crabs. He's even going to help Hachi on the top side here, pushing this wave. So there's even more XP in his back pocket. I wouldn't be surprised to see him be level 5 if he delivers the entire wave. But all in all, they're actually about equal in gold. But Mola's going to be able to bend
monster.
Yeah, look, he doesn't care.
He literally is just running. Like, Hachi has no mana.
Yeah, I mean, they can't really do much. The only reason why DBL might let this crash is because he doesn't want to sacrifice too much of his health bar. But, I mean, does he seem interested in that? Not really. As DBL successfully holds the freeze.
This might have to force Hachi to TP.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd expect Hachi might, unless he really wants to be very, very generous to his team. Which it looks like he's going to be. So he's going to definitely fall a little bit behind here in CS. But yeah, very nicely played from DBL. And across the board, the CS is more or less even. T-Rex is going to be about equal once he lets this wave crash in. Kazura, though, actually looking for this mid lane gank.
Oh, misses the chain lash. They have the blind. There is no mana. Chicklin does have flash, though. It's chunked out very heavily.
Wow. If those chains connect. That is a very dead Orianna, as DBL has now opted to shove in this wave. And yeah, I was going to say, probably get a nice little reset in for himself. And just trading of blows really across the map from junglers thus far. Muller definitely the biggest benefiter of it all. 38 CS. Has 2 more camps to path into, and even as bottom lane priority, but again, Kazuro looking to be aggressive, and this time Casper doesn't have flash. But is spotted out on 2 wards, actually.
Way too much vision for him.
Yeah, even drops the control. That's the pain of playing Graves. You have a ward, and you have to reload every 2 seconds or it can definitely feel very long. So has to commit the control ward to it, but he's not too fast. He has another one in inventory. There's a level 6 is ticking for the mid laners. Muller's actually already got access to Onslaught Shadows, and he's in the bottom lane. Harry and Regan are trying to crash this wave, and this could be troublesome.
Spotted out on the blast cone.
Ooh.
Zero also waiting about just in case. Dragon's going to get spotted out as Mola just going to clear out the vision. No, he's not. He's going to leave.
No, that's the kind of ward where it's so deep in, you don't even really... Because you never know. You might just see set Hex Flash over the wall, and then you have to burn flash defensively. It's not optimal as...
well, Mola doesn't have flash, so definitely understandable. Now he's going to go clear it, but he doesn't realize Tyrex is about.
Yeah.
Steals away his Onslaught Shadows. Oh.
All right. Well, Shiklin's going to have fun with that one, I'm sure.
Someone's going to have fun with that one.
Yeah. But very quiet opening act of the game.
Really? We've not had any of those today.
Yeah, who would have guessed after today's...
I was promised a Clown Fiesta. What the hell is this?
Yeah. Come on, guys. This is as the former head coach of this team, like MNM, bro, come on, like where's the Fiesta? I gave you guys Fiestas all last year.
Yeah, you did actually.
Yeah. It's just gonna be Bulldog picking up a dragon nearly for free, but Kazuro immediately in the top side of the jungle. This is what you'd like to see if you are going to give up an early objective. You do trade these camps, and what it actually means is not only take the small one. All right, well, what it does mean is you're also taking these camps away. Muller's missing them, so it kind of, whenever I explain this to players or junglers in particular, you can kind of look at it as losing twice as much gold on the Bulldog side, even though, you know, you're theoretically only losing one side of a jungle, which is about 300-ish gold. You're still denying and taking away. It looks like they want this dive on the top side. I don't know.
They're going for it. They're throwing everything. Zero actually dodges away on the charge, gets knocked back underneath the tower, but DBL doing so much damage. The collateral damage is there. And Zero finds first blood. Here comes Terex. He does not have the Onslaught Shadows anymore, but he can steal away a cask if he wants to. Until he doesn't have it. Goes for the chain lash. Can he land it? Hatchie's out. Not going to commit anymore. And that might just be some plates in the top side. All solo for DBL as well. Just extending the gold lead top side more and more, little by little.
Yeah, and talking about some of the maths of what just happened. The Infernal Dragon, you know, you get very minimal stats. It's barely 5 or 6 AD. So, you know, Kazuro going into the top side jungle, you can already see he's now a level up after all of the counter jungling in this top lane dive, which, hey, look at this. We've got a replay of DBL crashing the wave at just about the right time, and they know Muller's going to be close, and he's actually right on time for the dive. But it doesn't really matter, and it's just a small overcommit from Muller, which means that MNM are able to just capitalize on the fact that he's a horse with no flash. Champion with no flash, and they know they can flash on top of him for free. They do that, and they get that first blood.
It's also one of those things when you're playing into a volley bear. It just turns the tower off, makes that dive so much harder. Kazero dodging away on the devastating charge, or the Onslaught Shadow, sorry, meant that he wasn't going to get feared back under as the tower came back online, and it's just easy pickings and easy turnaround. Yeah, and I would like just to quickly ask the observers to flash the gold, because I'm curious about the gold difference now between the junglers. It might even be close to like 1,000. Yeah. 800. So, yeah, so this is kind of the thing about the early dragons, and it's what I really sometimes dislike about when teams don't clear their weak side camps. And weak side being you're committing to the bottom side for the dragons. So your top side then becomes your weak side. And you leave those camps up, it's 300 standing gold for the enemies to just kind of take and experience against what, 25 gold, the XP of a dragon, and some like game lasting stats which aren't always that impactful. And in this case, MNM and Kazuro actually turned it into a top lane dive, plates, and a herald, so they've got more standing gold on top of it. So it's the cost when you don't set up for these early dragons properly. MNM punishing properly. Oh, they're going in. They're looking to slam back here. The Nature's Grasp is big, but Casper's being exhausted. And Harry's continuing to fire away. Poke takes some serious damage, but Casper with the Ulti procced is going to be able to get away. Obviously, tier 2 boost means a lot of movement speed. There's 1,000 gold lead here in the top lane. It looks like we will be seeing the Divine Thunderer coming out from DBL.
Yeah.
He crashes yet another wave.
And Kazura has actually got Shield Bow in his inventory, which I actually like this adaptation. We've seen obviously a lot of Gale Force, but if he's going to go Shield Bow and Bloodthirster, honestly, he's going to be really oppressive to deal with because the only person in this game that outranges him is Shiklin. And yeah, Regan.
Not seen.
Is he not seen?
Oh,
well, he's seen now.
No, he's seen now.
Kazura really wants to make this work, but we'll have to see.
Be on a ward.
Yeah. Breaking this tower would definitely open up the map in a slightly different way to what you'd normally see when you see mid lane opened up. Because it means Vayne kind of has to just sit there and watch it happen.
So the big thing I want to know is, obviously you were talking about the trade for the dragon for what they gain. I might have to hold that for the moment. Shiklin blinded, jumped onto, shockwave, tower shots, charge, and this is just the Graves going so low, able to jump back to safety of the enemy's tower and die. 1 for 1, traded out there. It's been a long day. It's been a very long day.
It's been a very long day.
But, crucially, jungle are dead. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Kazura will be back on the map in time, but sure, they lost that tower dive earlier. Sure, things didn't go quite to plan. If they get this mountain dragon, they're 2 away from Dragon Soul. A pretty early Dragon Soul as well. And we are looking at either a Cloud or an Ocean. Cloud maybe not the most impactful. Vayne does use Cloud Soul very effectively. But if it's an Ocean Soul, especially, that is actually a potentially really hard problem for them to deal with. But Casper able to dodge away the cast. Grassgang users, they're actually just going to jump in. They got the teleport, they got the slam back, and that is going to be an 80 carry down. Regan trying to pull one in. Tyrex not able to get himself in range though. Dragon picked up for Bulldog. MNM, you're getting caught out bot side massively there.
Yeah, just honestly, plain 2v2 kill from the Bulldog bottom lane. And I was going to say, I feel like if MNM are switched on, which they half are, they just open on them up onto the map on the top side and they drop the Herald in that top lane. You just say, okay, we can't get this the second dragon because Zera's going to be out too late. And they do it. They do drop the Herald top, but they're not actually here to commit for the top side jungle camps, which would have been the slightly bigger trade. Well, Kazura is now in the top side, but it's a little too late as Moller's likely going to actually contest. Wow, that was a lot of
actually has cast. DBL has to be so careful here.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Olma himself. He's fine. 700 gold into DBL's back pocket. And some. But wow, that is a huge lead in the top side of the map.
They might get a second charge out here. I don't think Hatchie's going to be able to stop this. Big chunk coming out.
He's trying. Oh,
it's supposed it's back. No, okay. This charge is happening.
It's like a Dark Souls boss or something when it's back. Take the free backstab. Just not quite able to do it quick enough. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, okay, sure. It's not the cleanest second dragon response from MNM, but they still get the whole tower top. They contest a lot of the camps on the top side as well. So the gold lead still remains at an almost constant 2,000 gold lead. And if this is done right, assuming MNM and more specifically Kazura was actually alive during the spawn of the dragon, you would have seen a much bigger balloon lead actually end up occurring. Where, again, Bulldog are committing to the bottom side, right? The weak side camps are up, and MNM are aware of this, so they just take all the camps. It's about 300 gold, which you're taking and denying away, and you get more plates. Harry's in some trouble.
Yeah, he does have that Gale Force and the ultimate, able to use both of them to put himself safely away from Mola. But Mola not going to be able to turn that one around. Ulti and Gale Force burnt, however. Tyrex does have a charge, and is getting zoned away a little bit here. MNM will pick up their second Rift Herald. So again, a Dragon for Rift Herald trade. The question is how can they use this? Can they use it to crack open this mid tower? Or maybe even the bot lane? Harry, not particularly the greatest showing here. I'm going to supercharge away. Poke waiting about in the wings. Regan's closing in. And they may just have to sacrifice this tower, or at least a lot of damage on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, the wave's big, so the tower's probably going to die. Harry's been relegated to cleaning the Krug camp here. Muller's even getting some counter jungling going, so a lot of golden resources traded back. About half the gold lead that MNM have managed to accrue for themselves. So Bulldog doing a really great job here. As just going to see some resets. And Cloud Dragon is 2 minutes away. So fortunately for MNM, they rolled the lesser oppressive soul. And this gold lead isn't as significant as you'd probably like it to be, considering how it seemed like they wanted to play out these early dragons and cross-mapping the camps and the tower on the top side. But DBL is definitely huge. Kazura is also joint highest level. He's 2 levels up on Mola. So it's not like they haven't put in the work here, as they certainly have. It's just that Harry has certainly had to suffer a little bit. And Harry's actually got 2 points in his Grey Seeker. Or the Void Seeker, which I don't think is the correct max order. Definitely a belt moment as he's put in 3. Sorry, that's just me being
going off on a tangent. It's okay.
Yeah. Because you don't max W second on Kai'Sa, I'm pretty sure. Especially now that you often
I
don't
always
actually
assumed it would
evolve
be.
W.
And Harry might need his E right now because he is getting chased by multiple people. He's able to get away, take a tower and a second charge there for MNM. So give himself up in the tower plates as Regan looking for Poke. Poke takes a lot of damage. Kazero going for this tank build, Graves, where I assume he goes the Bloodthirster and you just go like a lifesteal tank.
Yeah, interesting TP. We'll have to see what they want to do with this. Seems like they just want to have numbers in the river. Yeah, they just want to get Dragon. As now Bulldog managing to squeeze their way into the river. Casper's a little bit separated from the team, so he's going to have to take the long route.
What ulti does Tyrex steal? I'd like to see Poke or Mola realistically as the ultis he steals.
Yeah, Shockwave wouldn't be too bad either, but I think that Onslaught of Shadows, has to be the choice.
All the sets on the flank. Regan's coming over.
Found himself in the flank.
Shickling could get caught out. He's gone for Poke. He's actually gone for the slam back. Here comes the charge. Nature's Grasp has pulled them in already. Casper will lose his life to Tyrex. And Kazero just firing away on the back. Here comes DBL as he's ripping through members. Shickling will take him out. Shockwave's going to land. Mola finally loses his life. And Harry inside the pit, doing the damage, doing the work. Gets himself 1, gets himself 2. Hatchie's going low. Isn't going to find the third as the Prey Seeker. The Void Seeker goes a little bit wide. Kazero comes in. Kazero is taking out Hatchie with the turnaround. MNM get Dragon and ultimately win the team fight.
Yeah, real nice turnaround on the back end from Hachi there, but the damage is technically still already done. It's MNM picking up this Dragon. It's just a real nice bit of target selection and Regan managing to find this flank. Now, the Olmo going over the wall into the Dragon Pit isn't necessarily too optimal, but it doesn't matter because Casper dies whilst he still hasn't even flashed or cast his ultimate. You see real nice opening by DBL, dying breath to put down all of that damage, and the Haymaker also in tandem with that. Just means the backline of Bulldog, or what remains of it, just gets absolutely wrecked. And in the midst of all of it, Harry remains pretty much untouched because during that dive, he was able to just have the space put in front of him to put down those autos. And we saw a very nice turnaround from Hachi on the back end to secure at least one more kill, as we are seeing some internet issues.
Yeah, we are in a couple of issues, unfortunately. It's everyone's internet got snowed on today, so
yeah,
it's not working. Did you get snow?
Lines are cold. Yeah, I got snow.
Did you? Did you go out in it?
I didn't have the time to go out on it because I am a irresponsible adult.
Oh, I forget your sleep schedule's awful. It's actually tragic. It's just tragic.
Don't expose me, please.
What time did you get to bed?
Too late for me to want to admit on air.
I had a late night last night, and I feel like for you that probably would have been an early night. I to be fair, I have a mixture between like an old person's bedtime or a child's bedtime. I go to bed really early. I like getting into bed early.
Yeah. Admit. You can't see it.
Did you actually just admit? So we have a Discord channel where we can keep in contact with our producer. Did you genuinely just? Was that actually the time?
Yes.
You went to bed at 9 o'clock in the morning.
No.
What are you doing? What are you doing till 9? What is there? What is there to do at that time at night?
I have struggles getting to sleep.
Okay.
I don't have like insomnia or anything. I just really find it hard to sleep. No.
Isn't that insomnia?
No, because often no. So I can easily get to sleep, but it's just that I didn't feel tired last night until the sun was basically up.
That's probably because your sleep schedule's out of whack. That's probably why, because your body is used to go to sleep late. Oh my lord, that is.
Yeah, I mean,
you
the
went
night
to bed
before.
as I woke up.
Look, the night before, I actually went to sleep at like 2 or 3 or something. Like, I went to bed at. I was waking up in the morning. That's the important thing. Look,
you said that like it's something to be proud of. 2 or 3. That is that is a tragically late night if I go to bed at that time.
It's the weekend, and I'm still a young man. I gotta have my late nights. All right, gotta enjoy some time. But I think the pause.
Okay.
Might be,
well, the pause is ongoing, unfortunately, and as much as I'd love to publicly humiliate Jamada for going to bed at 9 o'clock in the morning, we are going to throw to a quick break. Hopefully we'll get this ironed out and back into the game as soon as possible because things were getting spicy. We'll see you in a second. We're just outing each other on op.gg while we're in the pause. It looks, I'm assuming, things are back to normal. I need to get an update from my producer. We were too busy flaming each other.
Do you know what I actually can't wait for?
We're back into game.
We're back into game. Do you know what I can't wait for?
What?
So my parents are watching the broadcast, and they probably didn't know what time I was.
So door's gonna fly open in a minute.
Yeah, I'm.
Hey, Venius got yelled on air years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his mum came in.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, fortunately, I don't think I'll get quite the same treatment, but yeah, I made plenty of jokes about the belt last split. Might be my turn.
All right. Well, some teams have split goals. Our team goal is to get you into bed at a reasonable hour. What time do you think I normally go to bed?
You? Probably around like midnight, 11.
I get into bed normally at about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I watch stuff on TV and stuff, so I don't normally go to bed until a bit later. But
okay,
I aim to be in bed at a decent time.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm on gamer hours, right?
You're on American gamer hours, mate.
I'm on American gamer hours, and I'm not even gaming. How?
So tragic. Right, well, we're into the game. 20 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, 20 minutes, and
before we end, our producer's really proud of me, actually. He just said, so, okay, back to game.
Back to game.
2 off soul. It's going to be a cloud soul, so there are people who use this. Obviously, the passive movement speed, lovely for the Hecarim. Vayne with cloud soul is actually really disgusting because she pops art, starts tumbling around at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's really irritating to deal with it. Kai'Sa's the same, though. She just jumps into your backline and then suddenly runs 4 screens away, and then Gale Force is back in.
Yeah. I'm really waiting for this Gale Force nerf.
Have they nerfed it?
I know.
Next
no.
patch?
I
know Mandate's had a nerf.
Yeah, Mandate is on its way to not even being an item.
The classic.
Yeah.
I feel like support
Moonstone's
items,
about to get that treatment too.
Support items break more than anything. Whenever a support item's viable mid, you know it gets nerfed into the hell. It's not even maybe the item, but like support champions. Like anything support, if it's strong, it's too strong.
Yeah.
We had like a support mid meta for a while, didn't we?
Yeah, if support items are ever picked up in any other lane other than support, then there's probably some number issues there.
It was the Spell Thief meta, wasn't it?
Yeah, Spell Thief. GP started it, but he certainly didn't end it. Thought he might have a small jostle over some vision, and Casper looked like he wanted to pop a couple of waters off on Harry, but not quite going to do that. I feel like both of these teams are just going to wait until this next dragon spawns up and we're going to see another fight. And honestly, very impressed with MNM's last team fight. Their target selection was pretty good. Bulldog couldn't quite keep Regan out of the backline on that flank. So we'll have to see what kind of angles him and DBL realistically are able to find, because I think that'll be the key for MNM winning out these team fights. If they're able to either get past that front line or completely ignore it and then get onto Casper, then Bulldog will definitely struggle. But if Bulldog are able to keep Casper alive, Casper's able to keep himself alive with his own peel as well, then I can definitely see MNM starting to fall to the wayside. But for now, gold lead at the very least is in favor of the blue team, as you get a little gold hover. And I mean, again, gold more or less reflecting the early game decisions made by both of these teams. MNM very topside focused and not really caring much on the dragons and trading the gold on that side of the map, whereas Bulldog more or less just kind of gave Casper a free time. And ultimately, Casper and Poke did find that 2v2, so pretty good for them. But we do have this dragon spawning up in 20. Bulldog with the river priority. Doesn't look like Regan's going to have a flank this time, but his real flash is back up, so means a snappier engage is on the table.
Trying to nestle some control of this river, able to do so. Casper back into the mid lane to just clear through the wave. Let's watch for Hatchy, looking for that belly bop. No collector finished up onto Harry, where the Phantom Dancer and the Kraken Slayer is finished on Casper, so he's going to do a lot of damage. So collector finished up on to Kazero. And Dragon's going to get leashed.
Tyrex also, with this ultimate, means that him having a flank angle is real dangerous, Jake. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, he's coming over the wall already, looking for that charge. Regan gets zoned away. Dragon's going to go low. It's secured already. Grasp is going to pin everyone in. There's the shockwave. There's the charge to follow. The fight is on. Harry remains untouched at the moment. Charge comes into the backline. Harry's chunked out, and DBL has to leap away. A double kill's been picked up for MNM, but Casper is chasing everybody down as he gets slammed in. He's looking for Regan. He's still firing away. He can't do it, but Tyrex able to keep himself alive. Can he get a Kingslayer off? No, he cannot. Bulldog ace MNM.
Yeah, and on the back end of that fight, Regan just has to try and CC Casper, so he commits the ultimate, but it moves him away from Harry, so Harry's not able to actually get auto attacks down. I'm going to need a replay of this because, man, so it all starts off with Tyrex hopping over the wall. Bulldog have already committed onto the dragon, and they finish it, and it's a nice Maokai ultimate to keep the MNM team at bay, and then Shiklin sees everyone roid up, moves forward, gets the ultimate down. It costs him his life, but he also trades Kazuro's, and then we just see the immediate response dive from Muller on the backside, whilst DBL tries to buy time on Bulldog's backline, but he gets shredded. And we just see Regan, actually, he flashes forward. So he tries to ult Casper back in, but ends up not actually getting the correct angle. And it means that he goes away from the carries of MNM. They're not able to finish him up in that duration of the ultimate. Very fine margins there between winning and losing that fight for MNM, at least in kills. They, of course, lost the dragon, which puts Bulldog one dragon away from Soul. But Casper, this is the thing, if he remains untouched, we saw right there, he is able to, well, he wasn't untouched by the end of the fight, but for a majority of it, you can see how those fights can start to look.
Yeah.
Very, very close stuff, and a very nice shockwave, even though he commits his life for it. Shiklin taking down Kazuro.
Well, Harry now got that collector, but Phantom Dancer, Kraken Slayer, BS Sword, most of the Infinity Edge actually on Casper. Vayne is going to be hitting like a truck. 2 levels up on Harry as well. Pretty significant lead there, as Harry actually will shrink that a little bit. Tyrex just holding on to this top lane. Got the Andries, got the Zonyas. Well, the CDR with the boots of lucidity since the buffs.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting choice, actually, from...
Wants to be able to Kingslayer as much as possible, basically.
Yeah, that's the assumption.
Poke is that getting poked out pretty heavily.
We gotta find another way to say. I guess we can just say he's being chunked, right? It just feels so weird to say something like Poke's been poked out.
Oh, Shicklin. Oh, Shicklin, you are in for so much hurt. Good stopwatch, good charge. Here comes DBL. We can turn the turret off if needs be. He's going to do so. Shockwave lands, but still, Kazira and Harry untouched. Tower's going to come back online. No, it's going to get taken out. But here comes the slam. Hatchie's looking for everyone. Harry's running away, and it's just going to be an easy triple kill mop up for Casper. And this should just be Baron. With a Vayne, it will liquefy to Bulldog.
This is the thing, Jake. Casper is left untouched once again, and this time he wreaks havoc on honestly what was not even too much of an optimistic dive from MNM, and punished for it. They're going to lose this Baron. They lost 3 members, and the gold lead is finally going to swing in Bulldog's favor. Almost 2k in the lead now. Baron buff in pocket, and it's more than going to eclipse this next dragon spawn up. As you see, Regan just gets a nice hex flash over the wall, but Shicklin's got the stopwatch, so freezes up. Both the onslaughts of shadows kind of just whiff, in all honesty, and DBL turns off the tower. But you can see Casper just, I mean, he's practically on the front line, but there's no threat of him being turned on, so he just stays there and whacks away at everyone's health bars whilst the rest of Bulldog catch up and eventually start to frontline for him. But a little bit too much of an overcommit, I suppose, once the Bulldog members are able to actually respond, and you can finally see realistically the first time in the game that Bulldog have had control of the gold. And it's certainly going to be worrying. If MNM can't lock down Casper, these fights are just going to continue to go this way.
This is what you were saying as well. They don't have the point and click to CC the Vayne.
Yeah, this is the issue.
Really has to be on Regan to kind of get that good slam in. But he obviously always wants to ult a tank for the maximum damage output, and to kind of buy Harry space rather than throw Vayne at him.
I mean, even early on in the draft, they hovered the Vayne as well. So, whilst hovers are not normally something you talk about, looked like they were at least honestly considering it from the get-go, as DBL's going to pick up a tower for free, and it's actually MNM who find themselves with a little bit of map priority bias, because Bulldog are playing in Fog in the River right now, potentially, but they are going to retreat back up. MNM need to be careful not to overcommit. But this is soul point for Bulldog, so... Oh my god.
Zero just chunked out so heavily. The collector build is really weird when you go for the shield bow. We did see this other one, but DBL's on that flank, and Zero chunked out pretty heavily. He has to be so careful here.
Dragon's gone.
And I think they're just going to give this up. That's soul.
Yeah, I can't do anything about that. When Kazira gets chunked out like that, there's nothing to do, and yeah, you raise a valid point. I have to ask some questions of Kazira's actual build path. He's kind of all over the place, even in runes, actually, if you want to be very specific about it. Normally, when you go the shield bow route, you also go fleet footwork, so you just max out the healing with the bloodline tree too, but seems to be sort of trying to opt into everything, because Bulldog, I mean...
Vegan on the flank.
Yeah, another flank.
They're looking for it. He has to catch on to ADC. Gonna get pulled back already. Instantly.
Wow.
Casper comes in. Harry goes down. Shockwave's huge. Harry is dead as they find himself the kill. But Casper still alive. Still able to fire away. And MNM, they went for the play, but ultimately it wasn't enough. They've got the minions. They've got the Baron buff. DBL being zoned away. Mola's just making sure that bear ain't getting anywhere near this Nexus to defend. Baron buff times out, but the towers will just melt. Bulldog remain undefeated here in the UKLC, and they just put on a clinic versus MNM.
Definitely. Clinic is the right way to describe it, and there was some potential worries in the mid game, particularly around that second dragon fight, but honestly, once Casper was actually allowed to finish up those final items, and Bulldog played so well around him, honestly,
Yeah.
MNM could never find those flanks, which they were so successful at finding last week after that second dragon fight. And Casper just goes untouched, basically just says, guys, give me the room, hop in my backpack. He does that and
proved me wrong. Proved me wrong as well.
Proved you wrong. Yeah, and I have to kind of also like say MNM, they had the choice of AD carries to ban out. I'm trying to recall what those last 2 bans were. I know one was MF. Was the other one Aphelios? I'm not actually too sure.
No, they banned Anivia.
Oh yeah, they banned Anivia. So
it was Anivia.
Yeah, that's just kind of to me a bit of a curious ban. So, you know, you could look towards that as, hey, maybe you should have considered banning out a second AD carry, and you know, you round out your draft with more melee, no point and click CC. When they'd also kind of flashed the vein as if Casper was saying, hey guys, I'm gonna
pick this. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick it. So Casper does it and just kind of puts on a show for us again.
Honestly, just really, really good stuff. And Bulldog are looking like, I think it's fair to say at this point that they are looking like at least a contender for top 3, maybe top 2. Undefeated at the moment. I'm really curious to see how they do versus the likes of Resolve or London. But London honestly looked quite weak in their game versus Resolve today. So either Resolve are just miles ahead of everyone else, or this top actually could be quite close. I don't know. Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting to see when Bulldog face versus one of those teams. But for now, looking genuinely amazing. Really, really impressed with them. So
yeah,
I honestly have nothing but praises to sing for Bulldog anymore. Like they at this point they're starting to seal themselves as, okay, it wasn't a fluke. They are actually a good team.
Yeah, they are actually looking like one of our stronger teams here now, and definitely surprising. You know, a lot of the expectations around this roster were really, really low. I felt like, you know, people looked at the roster, they say, I barely know anyone on this roster with the exception of Shiklin because he's been around for a while, and, you know, Casper because he's always been floating just below that UKLC level.
Yeah.
And they've come in and they've played the game how they've wanted to. Hachi, of course, last week, more or less putting on the show for us. But this week, it seems like Casper says, no, I'm the carry. It's supposed to be my show. And he does just that. So props to Bulldog, like you say. Very impressive stuff so far.
Yeah, honestly, really, really impressive stuff from Bulldog. Genuinely just kind of a bit speechless at how well they played that. MNM definitely put more of a fight up than our first 3 games of the day, where we had, you know, some closer games. But before we talk about the rest of the day, let's have a little look at your favorite player of the day, Jamada. I know you didn't pick it, but let's talk about some of the action in that game.
Yeah, I was a little bit too caught up in the ending of that game, but we have this fight. I want to say this is the 3rd dragon, and this is basically, I just want to highlight, this is the importance of Casper either dying or living in these fights, because we saw Casper pretty much unleashed in the back end, but you can see this is what happens if Casper would have continued to have died. We see Regan. Okay, I don't know what cursor I actually have up, so let's box. Right, Regan, he's got himself a flank angle. It's very nice. He's going to be able to just basically walk down here. He's not on vision just yet. This ward probably gives a vision up to around here or so. And you can see MNM, they're not being threatened at the chokes, though the ball from Oriana is just here. So it means they have to pay a little bit of respect. But once the fight actually gets going, you'll see Regan, eventually it does end up on vision, but it's a little bit too late for Bulldog. You see the ultimate here being used from Tyrex, the Onslaught of Shadows, right on top of where the Vayne is going to land, who is currently, as you can see, being suplexed by this set. And she's pretty much just going to die in CC. And if Bulldog were able, or I beg your pardon, if MNM were able to find fights like this consistently, they would have probably won out. But, you know, Casper just says no, and MNM weren't really able to find a fight beyond this, and Bulldog pull together as a unit, and they never allow Casper to be caught out.
Yeah.
As we see here, Hachi. Turn around on Kazura on the back end.
That was, Hachi is honestly, genuinely my my favorite top at the moment to watch. The guy's been playing so well. Obviously his debut, getting all those kills on Rifty, but just genuinely impressive stuff from Hachi. So excited to see more. Really excited to see more from him, to be honest. That's where I'm at. We should be getting ready for a quick interview in a moment. So
yeah,
give us a moment. and
Yeah,
we're getting
just
ready.
wait,
I don't
wait,
actually
wait.
know who we're interviewing, but we will.
I believe it's Poke.
Oh, it is Pope.
The-
You are right.
Pope,
I did
yeah.
read that. Let's have a little look at some highlights from today before we get ready for our interview, because I think it's been a very interesting day. It's been a very different day from week one, where week one was a lot of the games were very close. And then today it's been, bar this last game, very slow chokehold games where they just basically win the map and the other team just can't play the game.
Yeah, particularly beg your pardon, the Resolve game I think was probably the worst offender of that. Taken 40 minutes or so to actually close out the game, which was not ideal, as I believe
we don't have highlights. Everything's set on fire today.
It's either set on fire or frozen. Pick or choose.
Yeah. I didn't get to talk to you about that. So you didn't get a nice stroll because, oh yeah, you woke up at a stupid time. You woke up in the morning. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. How can I forget?
I did not did not get to take a stroll in the morning snow, but I don't think it was. I mean, I know it was snowing around midday.
Mate, when you went to bed, it was snowing. I promise you, because I woke up when you went to bed and it was chucking it down.
Yeah, probably.
Just in a dreary days, missed it.
Yeah.
Before we don't have highlights, so we'll just talk a little bit more about the day while we get ready for our interview. Although someone did just join the Discord, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. We'll see how close
we are.
All right, we do.
Okay, hey.
Hello. Poke, how you doing?
Poke. I'm good. I don't
feel off that win, mate. 3-0.
I am beaming. I'm actually so happy. We came into the tournament as sort of the underdogs, and we're just beaming.
Yeah, literally smurfing it. To be fair, mate, you guys are killing it. Talk to me about this Vayne pick, because I was a bit of a critic on that one. I don't know why. I should stop criticizing you guys because you keep proving me wrong every time. I'm like, maybe not this one. What was the Vayne like? Like, what was the mentality in picking that?
I mean, the mentality was like, Casper, which ADC do you want to play? From the person drafting, and he was like Vayne, so we just went with it.
No thought process, just pick the Vayne.
Nope.
I love it. I actually love it.
Yeah, because earlier in the draft you did actually hover it, so I just wanted to know, like, because I know Casper can be a very vocal person when it comes to picks he wants to play.
Yeah.
How early was he maybe calling for the Vayne? Because I think even in the first 3 picks, even taking Vayne on the 4th pick for yourselves could have actually been relatively viable.
The reason we didn't go with it on the 4th pick is because we didn't want the enemies to have Ori. Mm-hmm. But they also have they had a tanky comp, which was like hard to access the backline. So Vayne was pretty good there.
Awesome. Well, I mean, honestly, you guys been smashing it. I don't know who you're playing tomorrow. I can't remember. I didn't check before coming into the interview. Who are you playing tomorrow?
Jake.
Who are they playing? Someone tell me. You don't know. Poke does. Okay.
No one
Poke doesn't know who he's playing. Then this is. You know what? That's answered the question, because the question was going to be, you know, how you guys preparing for your games. But it looks like you guys are just kind of taking one team at a time, not really overthinking your opponents. I guess if we are going to talk about people you're maybe worrying about, like, how do you feel about someone like Resolve or London? How are you feeling your chances are going to be there?
I think the way we're going, we're like playing to improve as a team, and it's working really well. So I think we should be fine.
Awesome. Oh, congratulations on the win, Poke. Honestly, you guys are just you're killing it. To be fair, there's not really another way to describe it. So
thank you.
Good luck for your games tomorrow. Even though you don't know who the hell you're playing, and neither do we.
It's Envision.
Congratulations on that one, mate. See you later.
Thank you.
My camera quality is slowly getting worse and worse. I'm just phasing into pixels right now.
Going into the void, but
let's bring up the standings and see how everybody is phasing. Get my blurry face off the screen. Oh, it's blurry on my screen. So Resolve and Bulldog remain at the top of the tables, 3-0. Envision in 3rd, secured 2-1 for the moment. Then we have Barrage, Enclave, and London all tied, and MNM, sorry, all tied 1-2, and Demise all the way at the bottom, 0-3, itching to get a win on the board. Just very, very solid stuff from Resolve and Bulldog so far. And while we're at it, let's have a little look at tomorrow's matches and see what we've got coming up here on the UKLC. See who is playing who. There it is. London versus Demise to start the day out. So if Demise had it harder, it's getting harder for them. Then it's Bulldog versus Envision. Resolve we've taken on Barrage, and we'll be rounding the day out with MNM versus Enclave. Enclave versus MNM is going to be fun. It's going to be Only Angel taking on his former team.
Yeah. Going back to playing a team he had a fair amount of success on too. So
yeah, made his return on.
Yeah, made his return in the UK on MNM as well. And yeah, I think that last game of the day actually is going to be something to probably going to pique my interest, because MNM and Enclave have been the two teams that have played general macro, objective control, rotations, the by the book stuff probably the best. So I expect that to almost kind of be like a exciting game of chess if you find chess exciting. So looking forward to that one. And I think also the Resolve game, like normal, you normally want to keep your eyes on Resolve and see how they end up playing, except for today, because, that was an experience.
Honestly, last game was bloody good. The first three were very good from the teams who won. Maybe not as entertaining to watch as they were, just very controlled. But overall, we had some really good League of Legends today. I've been told to sing us out, but you don't want to hear me sing. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow for more UKLC action. Same time, same place. Join us on Twitch or BBC. Pick your fancy. We will see you then. Goodbye and see you tomorrow.
Bloodshot eyes, another ocean opens wide. Our love is sick but still alive. Then all our hearts would radiate and melt the sadness we create. Only then could we survive. Let's turn singing, this love is all around us. This love is all around us. Staring idly at the sky. Love is almost passed us by, still we watch it